Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem testified today at a House hearing on global threats facing the United States, those threats. And she spent a lot of time, as we might have imagined, going into this, in several contentious exchanges with Democrats over immigration enforcement. Here's just one of them.
You haven't been telling us the truth. Look, there have been at least 170 known cases of citizens being arrested or detained by federal immigration agents this year alone. This is the truth. Are you lying to the American people right now by denying these reports?
We have never once detained or deported an American citizen. We have not held them and charged them.
CBS News national security contributor Sam Vinograd joins me now here in the Conversation Corner. Sam, great to have you. We'll get to the immigration in a second, but you've done this process, meaning briefed senior Homeland Security officials for this very conversation. How did you evaluate what you heard overall on global threats to the United States?
Well, let's just talk about why this is important. These worldwide threat hearings are meant to inform not just Congress, but also the American people. That's why they're public. And the goal is to lay out the biggest threats facing the country so that Americans know what to watch out for. What transpired today, and unfortunately, Major, what has happened before, is that this became more of a political circus than an actual threat briefing. And you saw accusations over Biden-era policies really infuse most of the briefings that were delivered by the Trump administration officials that testified.
Any kernels of insight that were valuable among this food fight politically?
There was a lot of focus on two topics, immigration and counterterrorism, and what Trump administration officials view as a convergence between the two. That narrative has been pervasive in most of the strategy documents coming out of the Trump administration and most of the testimony to date. But there's a very heavy focus on how bad actors are trying to exploit or tried to exploit Biden-era immigration policies to come to the United States and wreak havoc. There was a lot of contradictory statements, however, on the terrorism-related front. You had some officials saying that young Americans have been radicalized with no ties to terrorist organizations online, lone actors. Then a whole line of argument about the Taliban and other Afghan-based terrorist groups infiltrating the Afghan withdrawal process. So a lot of contradictory statements on the terrorism-related front.
And to that soundbite that we came in on, there have been lots of reports around the country of either green card holders or American citizens for some period of time being ensnared in these immigration enforcement procedures.
There are literally specific cases of Americans, lawful permanent residents, green card holders, and others actually being arrested and taken into custody by immigration enforcement. In fact, I think another representative during this testimony actually played a video clip of one of those. So Secretary Noem was actually factually inaccurate in saying that that had never happened, and also factually inaccurate in terms of saying that the administration had never violated federal court orders. We actually saw that happen with an aircraft that took off with individuals on it in removal proceedings earlier this year.
There was also some laudatory comments from Republicans about a dramatic reduction in illegal border crossings and the proper enforcement at the border from their perspective as compared to the Biden administration.
Yeah, a lot of contradictions. Democrats on the committee were decrying the really interior immigration enforcement posture from the Trump administration.
But not decrying the securing of the border very much.
No, but it is a fact that border encounters have literally drastically diminished under the Trump administration that started under Biden. But that was a very heavy focus for Republican members, whereas Democrats were focused on the interior enforcement against individuals that may be here unlawfully, but that don't appear to pose a security threat.
And in many cases, don't have criminal records outside of their violating immigration law in this country. Sam Vinograd, always a pleasure. Thank you so very much.